Do you know how powerful you are?
Welcome to RiseUrbanNation.
Welcome everybody to RiseUrbanNation.
Reshaping and elevating your mindset to help you achieve what you believe.
Sometimes we don't even see our own greatness. You can't be what you can't see.
And connecting Black cultures to build a community of talent and success.
Black people need to realize that they are assets. You are an asset.
When we rise, you rise.
Come together as a group.
This is RiseUrbanNation with Terrell Simmons.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of RiseUrbanNation. I'm your host, Terrell Simmons, and I got a special guest in the building, Stephanie Obi. I'm gonna let her tell you her Nigerian name. I always love it when I get Nigerians on the show and they got such an Americanized name. I was like, where did this Stephanie come from? So I guess colonization does not waste any time into making its way around the globe. But anyhow, Stephanie is just amazing in the e-commerce space, mostly e-commerce education, and she's going to talk a little bit about her journey. And I am determined to work out something with Stephanie. We've been talking, and we're going to bring something to fruition. I don't know what it is. I'm putting it out in the universe so that we can help a lot of my Pan-Africans all over the diaspora to, look at the simple tips that it takes just to, start your e-commerce business, whether it be education, storefront, whatever. Most of her stuff is in the education space, putting together classes and so forth. But she's helped a ton of people. I'm excited for you to hear more of her story and get connected with her. We're so aligned in, how our careers kind of has shifted throughout the years. Just in two people in different spaces, different places, but having similar journeys. So we got to connect. So without further ado, Stephanie, take the mic.
Nice.
And so the reason why I really wanted to start this podcast is because so many of my African-American people here and Nigerians have different belief systems. And then some of the kids here have different belief systems on what they can do, what they can be in their life and career and dreams and goals because of, the current climate in the U.S. And I wanted to try to bridge both cultures just to show all the amazing things that our folks are doing all over the world. So they have faith that they can do whatever they want to do, be whatever they want to be in life. And so that's how the show originally started and became. So I'm glad to have you on it.
Nice. And well done.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into the interview, and I'm just going to ask you a lot of questions about your career, your journey in life, and how you got to where you are at. And you could tell the story for the people, and we're going to enjoy life while we tell the story. That sounds good.
That sounds good.
Awesome. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of RiseUrbanNation. I got a special guest in the building all the way from Lagos, and we are going to enjoy this show. Let me tell you. So she's giving me her American name, Stephanie, but Stephanie, for the people, please tell them the Nigerian name.
Okay, my Nigerian name is Obiageli.
Yeah, which means what?
I've come to enjoy.
And we're going to enjoy the interview. So look, me and her had a nice intro earlier before we just started, because I was like, because my American name is there, Terrell, but Adekunle is the Nigerian name, and so I was like, I know there has to be another name here.
Yep.
So tell me, what career field are you in? Like, what do you do? Tell me about your business and everything you do. Give me the rundown for the people who don't know you.
All right. So I run a coaching company that's focused on helping women to turn their expertise into an online course and earn 6 figures from it. So that's what I do.
Nice. I love that. Wait, how did you get into that? Like, how did that even start? Like, because I know you didn't go to school and say, one day I am going to do this online business.
No way. You won't believe it. So I I studied computer science,
Uh-huh.
and when I got out of school, like I got a job in a telecom company, so telecommunications.
Yeah.
But by the side, I had a hobby. That, I used to make
Mhm.
accessories. Let me show you an example. I used to make
Ooh,
accessories.
you do?
So this is what I used to do by the side. Accessories.
I like that.
So
I
these
like that.
accessories, they're made out of Ankara fabric. Ankara is an African print fabric.
Okay.
It's very popular in West Africa. So I used to make brooches, handbags, hairbands, earrings, all sorts of things. It was my side. It was my side business. So I
Yeah.
ran it all through my time in the university, all through my when I got my first job.
Uh-huh.
But then at some point, I'd been working for a while, but at some point, I then decided that I wanted to start teaching other women how to make these accessories because this had brought me a healthy stream of income all through my years
Mm-hmm.
university. Used to make was an extra stream of income for me, and it was really decent. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what, I can help other people to start businesses. So let me start teaching them how I started my accessories business. So I will teach them the skill and teach them how to run it as a business. So at first, I started with workshops, physical workshops. And then people started to reach out to me to say, Stephanie, I really want to attend your training, but I don't live in Lagos, Nigeria. What can you do? How can I attend your training? What can I do? So I then decided to create an online course. I just wanted to see if anybody would sign up for it because I couldn't travel to all those different locations. Surprisingly, people paid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. All right. So I kept on selling and I even started making more online courses. Then people started to reach out to me to say, Stephanie, please, can you show us how you're making these online courses? How are you creating them? How are you selling them? How are you making money from it? And that's what I do now.
Uh-huh.
I now show people how to turn their knowledge into online courses
Wow.
and sell it and earn 6 figures from it.
Wow, that's amazing. So it started as a side hustle,
Mm-hmm.
and then the side hustle then became the main hustle.
Yes. But then the side hustle evolved because my side hustle used to be accessories. Now I don't even do accessories anymore. I now just do
What? Those accessories are so beautiful. The world needs to know about those accessories, and you don't.
Thank you. I don't even do them anymore. Let me tell you an interesting story. So I just came back from the US. I went to Seattle. And in Seattle, I met up with somebody who I had trained years ago. I think I trained her. I attended one of my workshops 7 years ago. But today, she has gone. She has gone on to business school. She works in a tech company in Seattle now. But she still runs her accessories business. Like she's still running it. She's supplying these accessories to stores. When I met her, I don't know. I was just so excited. Life is a season. I feel like that season of my life is over. It was there for a reason. I trained some people. Hopefully that they're still running the business. For me, I've evolved, and that's fine.
Yeah, you have evolved, and you've evolved. You helped other people evolve too, and that's such a beautiful thing to be able to do that. I'm. You will have to hire some people to get the accessory business going back, so we can put it in stores over here. So give me the backstory, because I always like tell people, like, it's not where you start, it's the journey and how you finish. So like I know you started off in university. I always like to ask this question: what was your first job out of university once you got out?
So how do I in my country, in Nigeria, when you leave school, you're supposed to work compulsorily for 1 year. You're supposed to serve your fatherland anyway. So during that time, NYSC. So during that time, I worked in a bank. That was my first job. I worked in a bank.
Oh, so you learned how to deal with money. What's some of the things that you think you learned? Well, she said, well, I didn't really learn that. What did you learn from that first job that you think really helped you develop into the next thing and then eventually your side hustle?
Interestingly, what I got from the first job is that I learned that this is not what I wanted to do with my life. Interestingly, yeah. So I have friends who went on and who stayed there for a long time. But for me, after 9 months, I was clear that this is not a career I wanted to build, and so I left. Otherwise, I would have easily built a career in banking. But one of the biggest things I learned from that from that place was finding the courage to leave when I wasn't aligned, or when the job wasn't giving me joy,
Yeah.
So I say this because many times when you're starting a career, you're trying to find where you fit. You're trying to find what you're supposed to be doing with your life. You're trying to find like what you want to do. And sometimes you can get yourself in a job that doesn't really bring joy. It brings you money, but doesn't bring you joy. But you stay there because you're like, let me just manage. Let me just be here. Let me just continue. I have a job. I should be grateful, but the biggest thing I found is that you can't deliver your best when you're not happy, when you don't feel as if you're supposed to be there. So having the courage to find what makes you happy is super important. Now, during that time when I was working in that organization, by the side, I was working and I had forgotten my hobbies. I had forgotten my side business. I had forgotten, like I just focused on the job, and it was bringing me so much unhappiness.
Yeah.
At some point, I then, started my accessories again, because this is what used to bring me joy. I started my accessories again, and at that point, I realized that accessories was what was making me happy. And if I just followed the path of joy, like followed what sparked joy for me, I'll always be fine. So that's what I did. I followed the thing that made me happy. I followed the thing that sparked joy. And that has led me to such a joyous career. At that time, it didn't make sense. Oh, how will you leave this amazing job in a bank to go and start doing accessories? But look, I've built such an amazing business out of following what brings me joy. Yeah. So that was the thing I was sharing.
I love that, because that's something that I share too, because, my parents, they mean well, but it was, listen, my friend, you're going to study the books, you're going to go to university, you are going to do a job as a engineer, banker, or a lawyer, or something that will make money and buy now house and all that stuff, right? And you go that career path only to be miserable because it's not, you don't have joy, right? And then I look at the execs that was ahead of me, and I'm like, they weren't happy either. Some of them, they were failed marriages, they made good money, drinking problems, but I was like, oh, that's not what I want in my life. And so when I got the courage too, I left and I started doing things that brought me joy, even though at first it wasn't big money, but later on the money came. And so I tell kids, do what you love what you do. Don't chase the money. Let the money chase you. And what I mean by that is when you do what you love, you do it for passion, and you do it to the best of your ability, you will attract the right people who want to pay you to do that thing that you do, because you're the best to do it.
Exactly.
And they will pay top dollar to get your services. And that's what happened to me.
Exactly.
So, like, how did you get the courage? Because I feel like traditional Nigerian parents and that old school mindset. What is this? You how are you going to pay? You are going to do what? You are going to sell online courses. Is online courses going to buy you a house? How are you going to, I feel like they just wouldn't understand. Like, how did that conversation go?
So there was no conversation.
What?
Because I'm telling you, when I made the decision, I just resigned. And I'll tell you why. Because this battle, I had a running battle with my parents, trying to get them to see what I was saying, but they did not see it. They didn't see how my business could take care of me, or this thing I was saying I want to do, online course, how will it take care of you? They couldn't see it. So I got to a point where I said, you know what, I have to take ownership of my life. This is my life. I have to take ownership of my life. And if they don't understand it right now, it's fine. But I'm making that decision to jump. So I made the decision, and I told them after. I said they will forgive me after. We can have after. And now I'm older now, and so I understand my parents now. I understand where they were coming from, and so I give them grace, because they were just worried, concerned. It was concern. Oh my God, I want her to succeed. I don't want her to make a big mistake. And what I told them at the time is that, look, I'm just in my 20s. Like, I have time. I have time. Like, I'm young, and I don't have major responsibilities, so I can take a risk. So just with me, allow me to go on this journey. And they came around after a while. Now my parents are big supporters of entrepreneurship, massive supporters. Like, they are big supporters. They will tell anybody and everybody, if your child says they want to do something, allow them. Like, so I'm just I'm excited.
Isn't that funny? At first they'd be like, this one here is my child and she wants to do this online business thing, and then when it becomes successful, look, come meet my child. My child is a successful business owner, online business. You need to buy from her.
Yeah. So true.
It's just funny how parents work. So tell me, all right, walk me through the steps. What were the steps that you did or you took to kind of start this business in your career? Like, give me the step by step, because there's going to be some little girl who's listening to this, or some woman who's in her career who's inspired by your story and wants to change careers and wants to know the steps that they could take to try to leave their job and maybe start a career just like you in the online space. So give me the steps. Like, how would they start to do that? What was your steps?
Okay. So, I was a very courageous lady who jumped 2 feet into business. I don't recommend that for everybody. I don't recommend that, because it's what that also meant is that it took me a while to get things right. I experimented. I failed a lot. But I picked myself up again. So what I now teach my clients, people who are trying to launch an online course business and have a very successful one, is that they just have to follow 4 main steps. The first step is that they have to have an irresistible offer. So let me quickly explain that. So even if you have a skill, a knowledge, and expertise that is so valuable and you want to teach or you want to monetize, that is not enough. It's not the reason people buy. Online, there are so many things that anybody can Google how to do something and find steps. All right. So what will make somebody come to you when they can go online? What will make them come to you when they can go watch a free video on YouTube or step-by-step tutorial? So that thing, you need to find something that will make people come to you, even if there's a lot of free resources out there, and even a lot of cheap resources. There's some products that are very cheap, or there's a very lot of competition in the market. What will make somebody come to you? That's the first thing you have to be clear about. And this is complete. It's not the same thing as being good at a skill or having expertise. So number one, you must package an irresistible offer. I wish I knew this earlier. I wish I knew this. It took me such a long time to know this, because I spent so much time thinking that people would pay for my product because I was good at it, but it's not enough to be good. You also need to be able to have packaged products that are irresistible. The second step is to test your ideas. All right. So once again, many times when you're an entrepreneur and you're starting a business or launching an online course, you're very optimistic. Like, you want things to work, and so you can put all your eggs in one basket. But the truth is, sometimes things don't just work. All right. So they're having a habit of testing things, having a habit of testing it without emotions. Don't start crying when things don't work. Like, like, it's an experiment. Okay. The first thing I'll say is be open to testing. This offer you want to create, test it. Your ideas, test it. Every idea you have, any product you want to launch, test it. And one of the biggest ways I advise my clients to test is to before you launch a product, get paid for it. I always say that cash is the only true test. Before you know if your online course is going to sell, let people pay for it before you even create it. A good way I can explain this thing is like, if you're dating somebody and the guy just keeps, or the girl, or let me say me, if I'm dating somebody, a woman, you're listening to me, you're dating somebody, and the guy just keeps saying, "Oh my God, I'm going to marry you. Oh my God, I'm going to marry you. Oh God, you're so wonderful. I'm going to marry you. I'm going to marry you. I'm going to marry you." Look, no matter how much he says he's going to marry you, if you're not married, you're not married. It doesn't matter whether all his friends are calling you, "Oh, our wife, you're our wife, our wife." Your mother is saying, "Oh, my daughter, my daughter, my daughter." Look, except you have that ring on your finger, you are not married. Right? And it's the same thing with your online course. Until people have started paying you for that course, it is not a profitable course. It doesn't matter how you think about it. It doesn't matter what everybody's saying about it. Cash is the only true test. Like if you learn this lesson now, it will still save you from years and years and years of pain. All right? Because people always say, "Oh, I created this course with my whole heart, with my soul, with my spirit, with energy. I thought people are going to pay for it. Nobody paid for it." Well, we always have to test with cash. All right. The fact that you've done all this does not mean that it's value for another person. The only way people can show you that this thing is actually valuable is that they'll put their money where their mouth is. So number 2, test your ideas and get cash upfront.
Okay.
The third step is that create your course content in a way that it can scale. Okay, let me quickly explain this. There are many ways you can monetize knowledge online. The beautiful thing about online courses is that it has the capacity to train thousands of people. So in the beginning, when you're still small or you're still growing your audience, you may not have thousands yet. All right? But never, ever, ever think small. How you start, not how you're going to end. So when you're creating your course, create a course in a way that it can become scalable, because that your course can train thousands and thousands of people. But if it hasn't been designed properly in a way that it can train thousands of people, you just won't do that. And one of the biggest reasons courses become successful is that they are good products. All right. So what is a good product? It's based on how people are actually taking the course and getting results, no matter how many people are taking the course. All right. So that's the third step. Structure the course in a way that people actually get results, even though there are thousands of people taking the course. The last step is then creating a system to continually bring in clients. So you've done the good work, you've created your course content, you set up online, you've done all the technical parts. The last part now is so crucial. There has to be a system of getting clients day in, day out. Whether you are going on vacation, I'm sure you probably heard all these people say, "Well, I make money in my sleep." Well, I don't like to talk about make money or sleep, because then it sounds as if it gets rich quick. But really, if you create a system that attracts clients day in, day out, you can make money in your sleep. You can build a business that continues to grow. You can create some ease in your life, some freedom in your life. You can actually really help the people that you feel so called to help. And you will now see that when your business starts to getting clients consistently, day in, day out, you will now start seeing that, this business can match my 9 to 5. This business can can pay me the salary my 9 to 5 I'm getting from my 9 to 5 job. And I can easily leave at this point. Okay? If I leave at this point, my finances are not going to be, I'm not going to be in serious trouble, because the business can pay me what my 9 to 5 used to pay me. So that's what I recommend for people who are in the 9 to 5 and want to be able to transit. I say it takes a while to build this system. It takes a while to create the offer, to test it, to create the course itself, and then to create a system. So the safest way to do it is to do it while you're still in your 9 to 5. It's the safest way. Build this up, and then you can then leave. But if you are like me, adventurous, burn all the bridges, this is where we are going. Let's go. If you are like me, that's also fine. Just make sure you have some savings.
Because once you burn all the boats, there's no going back.
Yeah, there's no going back. And that's how I am. When I decide that this is where I want to go, that's where I'm going. I just face it.
In a way that for some people that may work if they have a good savings, like you said, because there's no distractions. You just focus strictly on that, and all the time And even though you made mistakes, the focus is completely on that. And it's this, you wake up, it's that. You go to sleep, it's that.
Is that? Yeah.
Your mind is not split in two. So give me the back. Like, how long did it take you to, from the time you burn the boats and jumps, how long did it take you to become efficient at this and go through all those lessons?
I don't even know if I can say how long, because I'm still learning. Every day I'm still learning. But I'll give you some major milestones. When I quit my job, it took me 18 months.
Okay.
It took me 18 months to make my first 5 figures.
Ooh, nice.
And I'm telling you, when I made that first 5 figures, it was, I don't know how to explain it. I jumped, I screamed, I shouted, I was like, hey! Because before then, I had gone through all sorts, So one of the reasons why I decided to go into this full time is that I had a successful online course while I was still in my 9-to-5. So I said, you know what, let me go into and create more online courses. This seems to be like a profitable business. So I quit my 9-to-5. I started creating more online courses, and I couldn't. It was as if I was a one-hit wonder. I couldn't replicate the success I had my first online course, and I was just running. It was almost as if, am I okay? Did I know that this thing works? Why can't I replicate it? So I was in that struggle for a long time, launching online course after online course. I launched about 20 online courses. Like, when I talk about it, now everybody screams. I say, yes. I was focused on it. I was full time. So I was launching online course after online course. And every time I launched a course, there was a lesson. Every time I launched a course, there was a lesson. So it's interesting because I now have like a whole bank of tips on what not to do. Or what not to do. One of the significant ones I talk about is when I started launching my course and I was not successful. I lost my confidence. I couldn't see my value anymore. I started creating very low price courses. And the problem with low price courses is that even if you sell, you will still not make a lot of money because it's really low, and you have bills at the end of the month. So I wasn't profitable. I was just in this constant hustle. So, but like they say, I don't know if you heard this quote before, that you are exactly where you need to be. So that journey, no matter how tedious it was, no matter how difficult it was, what is interesting about that journey now is that it's now that journey that helps me to help other people. Because now I see other people who are going through the same struggle. It's either they don't know what to monetize, they don't know how to charge, they don't feel confident, they underprice themselves, they're always giving discounts, they can't attract the kind of clients they want to attract. They are stuck in one-on-one work or doing things they don't enjoy, and they can't leave because they're afraid that they may not be able to make enough money. Like all those things they're experiencing, I can now help because I went through that in my wilderness journey. In my wilderness journey, I went through that, and I now have the expertise and also the empathy. I can empathize with them because I've been there before. Yeah.
And had you been successful, you would not have all those lessons to be able to empathize and share and coach them through it. So you were exactly where you needed to be, even to this day. Because I'm up here thinking, like, one of the persons that I work with, her name is Ann. She has an accessories business too as her side hustle, and she's also the executive assistant for our show. And so, like, I was like, man, I got to connect Ann to you because I think you guys will have a great conversation. So what, like, if somebody, so now that you went through that, it took you roughly around 18 months. If somebody was to come see you do your courses and coaching, does that help cut their time in half? Or what does it look like now?
Of course, 6 months you'll be fine. So first and foremost, how do I explain it? I don't know how to explain it. Like, but if by the time you come and work with me, by the second month, you're already hitting some major milestones. These are milestones that the first milestone probably took me 18 months to learn. All right. But the first month of working with me, you're going to hit those, hit certain milestones. And how do I put it? There's no There's nothing like expert guidance, really.
Right.
There's nothing like expert guidance, and because I understand, when I think about my own story and how it took me 18 months to figure stuff out, because at that time I also did not understand the power of expert guidance. All right, so I kept thinking that I could do it by myself, I could figure it out, I will one day have a breakthrough, and yes, I eventually had a breakthrough, but it took me 18 months. So now I always tell myself, like, do I want to spend 18 months trying to figure something out? Or do I want to work as an expert in this thing? Because when I see my clients, I'm like, you guys are so lucky. So lucky. This same thing I'm telling you in 1 minute, if you know how long it took me to learn it, so.
So why do you think people, hesitate to get expert guidance? Like, why do we put ourselves through all this struggle and when we could save the struggle by just seeing the expert?
So I think that sometimes you just don't know that is an easier way. You just don't know that you can get things done quicker. You just don't, like, it can just be ignorance, you know. You just don't know that, there are easier ways to do things. Sometimes you're just so comfortable. Maybe if you also live in a place where people are always talking about how entrepreneurship is difficult, and so when you're going through your difficult times, you just think that, entrepreneurship is difficult, so I'm supposed to struggle, I'm supposed to suffer, I'm supposed to go through this tough time, and you don't realize that it doesn't have to be so. Like, you can actually go and get guidance and people who can help you, so that's one of the, as I say this, sometimes I find that I have to let people know that I have to sometimes as a leader now, I realize I have to educate my audience on the power of investing in themselves, because I realize that there's a set of people who just don't know that this is how to get results quicker. Because when you look at all these big companies who are so successful, they all have consultants, they all have experts that they are paying, they all have help. So why are you feeling like you don't need help? Like, it's part of business. You're gonna need help. All right, that's the first one. The second one can be ego. All right, ego. I can do this all by myself.
The ego is a big one, especially for not for me, but for some Nigerian men.
Ego. I can do this all by myself. There's when you also see that the person who can help you might be younger than you. You can be like, what can she teach me? All right. Or when you see that the person who can help you is maybe just different from you, you start questioning them. So I don't think this person can help me. And so you stay in that place with pride instead of getting help. So that's the second reason. But the one I see all the time, like from people that I really like, when I see them, I want to cry because I'm like, you're just suffering for nothing. Many times they don't even know that this is what they need.
Right. I feel like you have so much good knowledge to share with the people. What's one good life lesson that life has taught you? What's one good lesson life has taught you?
There's so many. Which one will I start with? The first one, and I want everybody listening to always remember this. It's a very crucial life lesson. The first one is that you have value. Never ever find yourself in a place where you think that you are in, how I put it, never ever find yourself in a place where you're not clear of the value that you're giving to people, whether you're in a relationship, whether you are on a platform, no matter what, you have value. Like and the value you bring to the table, no other person can bring that value. Do you understand? So don't count yourself out. Don't count yourself out. It doesn't matter if you see other people who are achieving a particular thing, you too can achieve it because you're the kind of person who can achieve that kind of thing because you have value. So never ever count yourself out. It doesn't matter where you live. And I say this because I live in Lagos, Nigeria. And for the longest time, I always felt that, I live in Lagos, Nigeria. Nobody, like people in other countries, will not want to listen to me because they're already experts in other countries. Can you imagine? Ridiculous. Nonsense. Nonsense. But that was coming from a place of lack of understanding. I couldn't see the value that I brought to the table. And so because of that, I didn't show up like somebody who had value to offer. So when you know that you have value to offer, the way you show up is different. The way you're going to be consistent. You're going to pitch yourself easily. You're going to, and when you come into on a platform, you're going to take up space. And when I mean take up space, you're going to say, okay, this is what I'm great at, and I'm going to shine. You won't go start squeezing us or shrinking. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing here?
I have this thing. If you want it,
no. That's not the energy. You'll be like, I have something amazing to offer to the world, and if you want it, you can get it. You'll be so magnetic. You can attract people to you just by being yourself and being authentic and knowing that you have something valuable to share with the world. So that's be my guess.
I love the word you used there, attract, because we all, I believe we're all energy, and so if you are coming in with this confidence and this thing that you have to offer, you will attract the right things, and that energy will just be glowing and radiating off you, and that confidence will then make people see it. That's she can teach me something. I don't know what it is, but she can teach me something. And so I love everything that you just said. So what do you think the future has in store for your industry? I know you're teaching, a whole lot of women this structure, but what do you think the future has in store? Especially for, those other people in Lagos, Nigeria, who are looking for, I know this younger generation in Lagos, they're always in the news and they're talking about, what is this younger generation going to do? How are they going to work and make money and so forth? Like, what do you see the future having in store for your industry?
Look, my industry is blowing up. It's blowing off the hook, and I'll tell you why. COVID changed the game in my industry. So I'm in the online education industry, and there were certain projections that we had about how successful the industry was going to go. But when COVID happened and people had to start learning, working from home, learning new skills digitally, the demand for online education just went off the roof. And now it's being projected to be it's going to be valued at $370 billion. And let me emphasize, I'm not saying millions, I'm saying billions. $370 billion by the year 2026. So it is a massive industry. It's a massive, massive industry. If you're listening, I encourage you, and you feel led to share knowledge with other people. Like you're kind of person who is genuinely happy when you show other people how to become successful. This is the industry for you. There's room for you. There's space for you. It is going to be valued at $370 billion. And let me tell you another reason why this industry is so massive. Even though there are going to be people who are teaching the same topic you're teaching, one of the things that make people buy in this industry is that people have to like you, the teacher. Okay? So it's not like a school you go to where when you go to the school, whoever you don't even know who your lecturers are going to be. You just attend the lectures. In the online education industry, people are choosing who they want to teach them. So there will always be space for somebody who wants to learn from you specifically because you are maybe a man, or because you are a woman, or because you are African, or because you are you have an African heritage, or because you are young, a particular age, you're your 20s. There will always be a set of people who want to learn from you just because of who you are, because you inspire them and you show them that that they can achieve a particular result. So it doesn't matter if there's some other person who's already teaching your topic. There are people who cannot connect with that person, but will be able to connect with you. Do you understand? So there's room for all of us. So just show up. Show up.
You heard the woman. Just show up. Show up for yourself. Show up for life. and show up for the world, because the world needs that special gift that you have. You just have to find it and share it with everybody.
We should sing a song with that. The world needs that special gift that you have.
Well, as you can see, we are enjoying ourselves here. So I usually, I think me and you could talk for hours, but I like to keep it a drive time for most of the time that I'm on the podcast with folks here. So I guess the one last question that I have is, what projects are you currently working on, and where can people find you?
Okay. So I'm currently on a mission to help 200 women to get to 6 figures.
Nice.
It's it's a big project. I really want to help people build wealth. Right?
Okay.
So there's a program we have that is taking people through that process. We're helping them to find what they have, to package it into courses, to learn how to attract clients to it. So that's a program that we're currently trying to get people through so that they can get the result that they want. So the best place to find me, the easiest place to find me really is on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram. I'm posting online and I'm doing plenty reels, funny reels.
Okay, let me find you on Instagram right now.
My handle is Steph Obi.
All right.
Steph Obi.
Steph Obi. All right.
Yes, STEPHOBI. So there you see my funny reels, and you also see tips from me and ways you can get involved in this.
Look at this business coach and speaker. I see you. we need to get you on TikTok, as funny as you are.
I'm especially on TikTok, because I'm already making reels on Instagram. I can as well be on TikTok.
You have enough energy for both.
I do, actually.
And we're going to try to find some way to partner with you, because I love your energy, love everything that you're doing. I don't know what the future has in store for both of us, but RiseUrbanNation, Adekunle Terrell is going to work with you somehow to help you get to that goal, because that's part of our mission as well. Any last words for the people before we head out? Anything that you really want to share or give as far as information?
Yes. All right. So I think the what else have I not shared here that is so profound? I think I want to emphasize on the power of courage, being courageous. Okay. So many times the reason we all know what we really want to do. Okay. So if you're deciding that you want to teach a class, for example, teach a course, it's already inside you. Like, I'm not the one, nobody has to convince you. It's already a seed that has been sown in your heart and you really want to do it. But the biggest reason a lot of us don't do what we are supposed to be doing is courage. All right. Yes. And many times we are afraid of failure, we are afraid of rejection, we are afraid of being embarrassed. We're afraid of somebody laughing at us. We're afraid of, people will say, you too, you want to be a TikToker, you want to be a TikToker or whatever. You're afraid of what people will say. But there's a popular quote by Les Brown. He says that the graveyard is filled up with books that were never written, songs that were never composed. And, I also like to add, it's also filled up with courses that were never created. So if you have an understanding that in this life, our time here is very limited. No matter what, all of us are going to transit. So while you are here, while you are alive, while you have breath, make every day count. Do the things that you feel like you are afraid of doing. And, failure is not the end of the road. It's just a lesson. You're going to learn from it and you're going to rise up. So don't be afraid to do the things that your heart is really telling you to do. I pray you find the courage to do those things, because that's when you will live a truly fulfilled life.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we wish you courage in the new year to create everything your heart desires. And I'm a wish myself courage to get Stephanie on TikTok, because my heart desires for many educational lessons on TikTok. But Stephanie, thank you so much for your time and your energy this morning. Love this interview with you, and I can't wait to continue our work here together. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Rise Urban Nation. Wish you a happy new year and courage for the new year.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Rise Urban Nation.
Thank you for taking the journey.
Be sure to like, comment, and smash that subscribe button. And stay connected with Terrell on and off the show. Follow at Rise Urban Nation on all platforms.
Do what you love what you do. Don't chase the money. Let the money chase you.